Well, welcome. We're just going to give it a few more minutes, but Mehrad and I thought that while we're just waiting for a few other people to join us, that we would tell you a little bit about ourselves in how we came to meditation. So I'll begin. My name is Michele and Mehrad, and I actually first fell into a meditation class, not even knowing it was a meditation class. I thought I was going to a yoga class. When I first moved from Cleveland to San Francisco, I checked out this yoga center. I always thought about yoga and went to the Saturday morning class with the main teacher there, whose name was Walt Baptiste. And it was a meditation class. And there were about 50 people in the class, and everybody was sitting up really straight on the floor with their legs crossed. And I had no training in my body as far as yoga, and no training in the idea of an erect spine. And about halfway through the class, I started looking around about how I could get out of there without anybody noticing. But I couldn't. It was impossible. So I just kept trying and following the guidance and trying. And then suddenly I had this amazing experience inside. And it was so incredibly wonderful that I knew after I came out of the class that my life was going to be changed, because I was going to dive into the center of this what yoga is. So that's how I came to meditation. Mehrad?
For those people who are joining us or have joined us, we decided to share a little bit about how we got into meditation while we are waiting for other people are joining. For me, my name is Dr. Mehrad Nazari, and for me was the time that I was going to, curiosity took me to a yoga class, and I really felt the difference after the yoga class, so I continued with that. And for a few years, I just did a physical yoga, and that was great. And right about then, I met Michele, and she invited me to go and try her yoga teacher. And I assumed that I was going to a yoga class. And I sat there and I sat there and I sat there, and my mind was screaming. And I realized I have been doing all those preparation to be able to get hold of my mind. And that took me to meditation and became part of my life the last 30 years. So
Yeah. So the way the webinar is going to go is this. We'll have a short introduction where we'll introduce meditation and what we'll be doing. And then we're going to turn off our video so that you won't be distracted by us, because during the meditation, the eyes are closed and we're going to move inward. So I suggest that you use a chair unless you have a lot of experience sitting on the floor cross-legged on a pillow. Otherwise, please use a chair. It's so challenging to deal with the physical body because you might have the greatest intention, and then after about 3 minutes, all you can think of is your left hip. So we want to eliminate any problems with the physical body. And we want to do that by finding a comfortable seated position. And a chair with the spine erect is perfect. So you don't want to be leaning back on your chair, but you want to be sitting up comfortably. Okay, so you can be thinking if you need to bring in a chair, or maybe that you're at a desk right now looking at your computer, but just know that this is going to not be necessary to use, and you'll be able to just close your eyes and follow the guidance, and so we can experience an inner meditation. Okay.
So before we start this session, first of all, again, for those who just joined us, my name is Dr. Mehrad Nazari, and this is my wife, Michele and Mehrad. May I invite you for a 2 minutes of centering practice. So make sure you're seated comfortably with a spine straight. Hands, hands are resting on your lap or on your knees. Head balanced, eyes gently closed, a gentle smile in the face, relaxing the facial muscles. And withdraw your mind from all other places and bring it to the place that you are sitting. And withdraw your mind from all other spaces and bring it to the space that your body is occupying. Breathe within that space. And withdraw your mind from all other times and bring it to this moment, to be here now. And feel the breath of here now. No thinking, just feeling the breath of here now. And as you keep the streams of breath moving, keep that consciousness in place as you gently open your eyes. Again, welcome to the Raja Yogis meditation webinar. My name is Dr. Mehrad Nazari, and this is my wife, Michele and Hebert. For many years, we have been teaching meditation with the idea of sharing with participants the practices that lift them up from where they are to a higher level of awareness and consciousness. And we'll do that this time as well. However, because where we are currently in the state of the world and what's going on, many people are off balance. They have lost that solid footing. It has been almost a year that we have gone through some unprecedented challenges. These challenges are physically and mentally stressful. And as a human being, when we are faced with the stress, we are put in the stressful condition, our body system naturally reacts differently, get into the point that they start producing the stress hormone, cortisol. And we are ready to deal with the stress. And when the stress is over, our body naturally shift gears and start producing hormones that are contributing to recovery period. Dopamine, endorphin. However, when there is a constant stress and we don't have that recovery period, we create this chronic stress syndrome that will affect all the systems in our body and creates many health issues, such as anxiety, depression, weight gain, sleep disorder, heart disease, digestive problem. But the good news is that we are in control. We can shift that. We can bring that recovery period by demand and change the course. And the good news is, as I mentioned earlier, we can do this through the practices that we'll be sharing with you. And scientifically, these are the proven method to deal with stress. These two are meditation and breathing. At the beginning, I mentioned the idea is to reach that to that solid place inside of ourself, to our inner self, higher self, whatever you want to call it, But along the journey, we take care of that recovery period for a full health and a strong, stable setting. Michelle?
Good. Thank you. My name is Michele Hebert, and Mehrad and I are really blessed to have been able to study with some of the great world teachers. Walt Baptiste, who was a luminary of Raja Yoga in the Western world. Swami Veda Bharati from Rishikesh, India, who's a master of Raja Yoga. And His Holiness the Dalai Lama, who is a Tibetan yogi as well. And these practices of meditation actually stem from yoga. In the West, we think of yoga as the physical postures, but it's so interesting that these postures or asanas were developed 600 to 800 years ago. So for over 4,000 years, yoga had nothing to do with postures. It was all about getting hold of the mind. And as we all know, the mind is busy. I'd like you to stop and ask you a question and just have you think about it for a minute. Do you have any idea how many thoughts that you think in a day? When I ask a live group that, I get a lot of different answers, ranging from millions to 2. But actually, psychology has come up with a number, a range. Psychology says that you think 60,000 to 90,000 thoughts in a day. And 90% of those thoughts you thought yesterday. So our minds are like tape recorders, and we keep going over the same material pretty much until we wake up. We get woke and we realize that we have been programmed, which we all have. And how do we get out of this conditioning? Meditation is one of the ways to do it. I like to compare meditation to diving into a stormy ocean. So really imagine a stormy, wild ocean, and the waves are just roiling, and you dive into it, and you get caught up in the waves, and they toss you around, and they throw you around. If you stay there, you're going to have a miserable experience. But if you relax and allow yourself to sink down a little deeper into the ocean, you begin to see that although there is turbulence above, if you look down, there's a deep inner peace in the ocean's depths. So meditation is like that. When we first close our eyes, we see all the thoughts and we get caught up in the thoughts. And some people get very discouraged. They have a miserable experience. All they can do is see their thoughts and think their thoughts, and they give up. But there are ways of sinking beneath the thoughts. And Raja Yoga offers those ways, the inner practices of yoga, which we will practice together today. So let's begin. Find your seated position. So either on a cushion on the floor or seated in a chair. The key to meditation is a straight spine. Gently close the eyes and take a moment to straighten the spine a little bit more. So each vertebra lifts a little higher than the one below. Bring your attention to the crown of the head and feel a wave of relaxation descending. Relaxing in the forehead. Relaxing in the 2 physical eyes. Relaxing in the cheekbones. Relaxing in the cheeks. In the upper jaw. In the lower jaw. In the joints of the jaw. Relaxing in the sides of the neck into the shoulders, and the arms resting with the palms upturned on the thighs, and the thumb and forefinger lightly joined. The thumb represents your past, and the forefinger points to your future. And we join the past and future together to this present moment now. Relax in the base of your throat, that tiny hollow. Relax in the heart center of consciousness, between the breasts and beneath the sternum. Relax in the navel center. Relax in the abdomen. And the abdominal organs. Feel yourself seated firmly, evenly on both hips. And relaxing down the legs, feeling the feet firmly connected to the earth. And then find a breath that you can breathe from the bottoms of the feet that comes all the way up the body, through all the cells of the body to the crown of the head. And then from the crown all the way down to the base. A sweeping breath that sweeps away impurities on all levels, from the base to the crown, and the crown to the base. So we give attention to relaxing the physical body, so the mind is free to go on. Now please bring your attention, so the mind moves down into the solar plexus. And as you breathe now, breathe and expand in the diaphragm, solar plexus region. And we're going to take a counting breath. So we'll breathe in for a slow count of 4, hold the breath for 4, and then calmly through the nostrils, release the breath for 4. So beginning together, breathing in, 2, 3, 4, very smooth, hold, 2, 3, 4, and then release through the nostrils, 2, 3, 4, and in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, and release, 2, 3, 4, and continue this. We'll say 3 more rounds. And then let yourself just sit quietly for a moment, feeling the effects of the practice. Become aware of your breath streams in the nostrils. Feel the two streams of breath flowing in and up the nostril passageway into the head. And feel the two streams of breath flowing out through the center of the nostrils, back out into the room. Evenness of left and right. Now make the duration of the in-breath equal to the duration of the out-breath. As you continue the flow of breath, we'll add a sacred word. So for today, we'll use either the words peace, harmony, well-being, or the Sanskrit mantra So Hum, which means I am that. Or if you have your own personal mantra, please use that. Following the streams of breath in and up the nostrils, begin to ride the words in on the in-breath. Peace, harmony, well-being, and out on the out-breath. Peace, harmony, well-being. Or so hum. And we'll take a few minutes to practice this. We get hold of the mind and focus it on one point, the breath and the mantra together. So mind stream and breath stream as one. We have within ourselves a place of deep stillness and peace. Allow the breath and mantra to draw you into that place deep within. Keep relaxing. Sinking into the ocean's depths. Ultimately, in meditation, there's a sense of surrender, surrendering the ego self to the higher self. and opening to grace. Peace. And as we relax into a deeper part of yourself, when you come back out into the world, you'll come back from that place of inner strength, calm, centered. All right, now please begin to take some larger breaths in. And as you breathe in, feel the lungs filling. Think of filling with life force. And as you release the breath, evenly releasing in the lungs. So breathing in and expanding. Release and feel the two lungs evenly and equally. And then turn the palms over on the thighs and take a deep breath in, expanding generously. And as you release the breath, think of letting go to be well on all levels. And another breath, pressing the palms into the thighs, expanding and opening into the chest. And releasing. All right, and then gently, you can blink the eyes a little bit, bring yourself back out into the room. Yes, we do. Well, let them see that. I want them to see that. Okay, and also you might do a few movements, like however you're seated, twisting. So twisting the spine as you breathe in one direction and then twisting the spine in the other direction. Remember to take some deep breaths in after a meditation period so that your energies aren't way in, but we have to meet the energies of the world. So some generous breaths always. Good. Okay. I wanted to give you a taste of the possibilities. Mehrad and I are going to be offering an 8-week meditation course beginning next week. I originally decided to do these courses because of the situation in the world and that people were inside, they weren't able to interact. And I felt it was really important to offer this to people. And because it's twice a week from 4:30 to 5, it's a half-hour session where we introduce a lot of the inner practices of yoga. Yoga Nidra, we have sessions on Yoga Nidra, we have pranayama, we have chakra balancing, very important, and self-healing, and the practices that lead to meditation. So concentrating on the breath isn't meditation. Meditation occurs after the mind becomes one-pointed through concentration, and then we dive within into the deep inner universe that we all have within ourselves. So we kept the price really low because we want people to do it. We want people to experience meditation. And the consistency of meditation is really the key. So every day after the sessions, the next day we'll be sending you a recording of the session so you can use those recordings on the days you don't have sessions, live sessions. And the idea of live sessions is that there's a tremendous group energy that builds, a powerful spirituality that comes through. with when we meditate as a group. And so that's why I'm doing it live and not only recording the sessions, because there's that live in the moment energy is so powerful. So you'll, on the chat, Haley has put the link to register for the course. It's $108 for the webinar people who registered for the webinar. And it's a special rate, and it includes several meditation CDs. We'll be sending you an email later this evening that explains more about it and ways to register. So thank you so much for your attention, and wishing you well, to be well in the face of the challenges that life is throwing at us right now. Simply to be well.
Namaste.
Thank you.